Ever feel like your body is whispering secrets you can't quite decipher, especially after 30? It's more than just a feeling, it's a complex symphony of internal signals, often orchestrated by the unseen world of hormones. We're not talking about the dramatic, well-publicized shifts of puberty or pregnancy, but the subtler, insidious changes that can creep in as we navigate our 30s and beyond. You might notice a persistent fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix, a creeping weight gain around your midsection that defies your usual dietary habits, or a persistent brain fog that makes concentrating feel like wading through molasses. Perhaps your mood swings feel more pronounced, or your skin, once reliably clear, has become a canvas of unexpected breakouts. These aren't isolated incidents, they are often the quiet murmurs of hormonal imbalances, the silent saboteurs that can subtly drain your energy, dim your natural glow, and significantly shift your emotional landscape, impacting your overall vitality in ways you might not even connect directly. This journey into hormonal harmony isn't about a single culprit or a magic bullet. Instead, it's about understanding the intricate interplay of various hormones: estrogen, progesterone, thyroid hormones, cortisol, and many others, and how even minor deviations from their ideal balance can cascade into a wide range of seemingly unrelated symptoms. Think of your endocrine system as a finely tuned orchestra, where each hormone is an instrument playing its part. When one instrument goes slightly out of tune, the entire melody can be affected, creating a disharmony that you feel in your very bones. For many, the first sign is simply feeling off, a vague sense of not being oneself, coupled with physical manifestations that are difficult to pinpoint or address with conventional approaches. It's this feeling of subtle yet pervasive disconnection from our own bodies that often prompts us to seek answers, to understand why the vibrant energy and clarity we once took for granted seem to be fading. This exploration is designed to cut through the confusion, to demystify these often misunderstood hormonal shifts and provide a clear, actionable roadmap. We'll delve into the everyday scenarios that many of you will recognize, illustrating how specific hormonal imbalances, like a dip in progesterone or an overactive thyroid, can manifest as tangible symptoms. We'll explore the cascading effects, showing how a disruption in one area can ripple through your system, impacting everything from your metabolism and sleep patterns to your mental acuity and emotional resilience. The goal is to transform that sense of bewilderment into a profound clarity, illuminating the underlying biological mechanisms in a way that is both accessible and empowering. We aim to move beyond the generalized advice often found online and offer a more nuanced understanding tailored to the realities of adult hormonal health, particularly as we age and our bodies naturally evolve. The narrative will unfold by first establishing the landscape of these hormonal whispers, painting a vivid picture of how these imbalances can subtly infiltrate daily life, creating a feeling of being out of sync. We will then delve into the origins and context of these hormonal shifts, understanding why they become more prevalent and impactful as we age. The core of our discussion will focus on the main hormonal players and the specific ways their imbalances can manifest, supported by relatable examples and expert insights. We will then broaden our perspective to explore the wider implications of these imbalances on our overall health, well-being, and even our relationships. Crucially, we will address common myths and misconceptions that often surround hormonal health, offering a balanced and evidence-based viewpoint to combat misinformation. Finally, we will transition from understanding to empowerment, equipping you with the knowledge to identify potential imbalances and a beacon of hope for reclaiming your hormonal harmony and thriving. This is a journey of discovery, not just about hormones, but about understanding and reconnecting with your own body's incredible wisdom. The human body, particularly as it navigates the transition beyond its prime reproductive years, becomes a more sensitive barometer of hormonal fluctuations, and understanding these subtle shifts is paramount to maintaining vitality. Consider, for instance, the nuanced role of estrogen. While often solely associated with female reproductive health, estrogen receptors are distributed throughout the body, influencing everything from bone density and cardiovascular function to cognitive processes and mood regulation. As estrogen levels begin their gradual decline, especially during perimenopause, the effects can be far-reaching. This isn't merely about hot flashes or irregular periods. It can manifest as a noticeable decrease in skin elasticity, making it appear drier and less supple, or a heightened susceptibility to urinary tract infections due to thinning vaginal tissues. Furthermore, estrogen plays a critical role in neurotransmitter function, impacting serotonin and dopamine pathways, which can contribute to feelings of anxiety, irritability, or a general sense of low mood that doesn't seem tied to external stressors. The body's signaling pathways are intricate, and when one key messenger like estrogen begins to falter, the downstream effects can be surprisingly pervasive, altering how we feel, look, and even think on a daily basis, often without us initially connecting these disparate symptoms to a single underlying cause. Building on this, progesterone, often dubbed the calming hormone, also plays a significant role in overall well-being beyond its direct impact on the menstrual cycle. It has a crucial role in preparing the uterus for pregnancy, but its influence extends to the nervous system, where it acts as a natural anxiolytic, promoting relaxation and improving sleep quality. When progesterone levels drop, as they often do in the years leading up to menopause, women may experience heightened anxiety, difficulty falling or staying asleep, and increased breast tenderness. For many, this can translate into feeling perpetually on edge, a stark contrast to their previous ability to weather daily stressors with composure. Moreover, progesterone works in concert with estrogen, an imbalance where estrogen is relatively high and progesterone is low, a condition known as estrogen dominance, can exacerbate symptoms like bloating, mood swings, and heavy or irregular bleeding. This interplay highlights the delicate equilibrium that must be maintained for optimal health, where the absence or excess of one hormone can significantly impact the perceived effects of others, leading to a complex web of symptoms that are challenging to untangle without a foundational understanding of these hormonal interactions. Turning our attention to the thyroid gland, its role in regulating metabolism is widely acknowledged, but the nuances of thyroid hormone imbalances are frequently overlooked. Hypothyroidism, a condition where the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough thyroid hormone, is a prime example. Beyond the classic symptoms of fatigue and weight gain, it can profoundly affect cognitive function, leading to what many describe as brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, and a general sluggishness in thinking. This can impact professional performance and daily tasks, creating frustration and a sense of diminished capability. Furthermore, thyroid hormones are essential for maintaining body temperature, and imbalances can lead to an increased sensitivity to cold, even in moderately warm environments. Dry skin, brittle nails, and hair loss are also common somatic manifestations, as the hormone's influence extends to cellular regeneration and protein synthesis throughout the body. Understanding that these seemingly cosmetic or minor issues can stem from a fundamental metabolic regulator like the thyroid is a crucial step in demystifying the complex tapestry of hormonal health. Another crucial layer to consider is the impact of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. While essential for managing acute stress responses, chronically elevated cortisol levels, often a consequence of prolonged physical or emotional stress, can wreak havoc on virtually every system in the body. This persistent activation of the fight-or-flight response leads to increased abdominal fat storage, particularly around the midsection, even with a healthy diet and regular exercise. It can also disrupt sleep patterns, leading to insomnia or fragmented sleep, further exacerbating fatigue and cognitive impairment. Furthermore, sustained high cortisol can suppress the immune system, making individuals more susceptible to infections, and can contribute to insulin resistance, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes. The insidious nature of chronic stress means that individuals may become accustomed to a state of heightened arousal, failing to recognize that their body is operating in a prolonged state of emergency, which is fundamentally unsustainable and detrimental to long-term health and hormonal balance. Beyond the widely discussed hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and thyroid, a deeper dive reveals the critical influence of androgens, such as testosterone, on both male and female physiology, particularly as individuals age. While commonly associated with masculinity, testosterone plays a vital role in maintaining muscle mass, bone density, libido, and cognitive function in women as well. Its gradual decline, often beginning in the late 20s or early 30s for women, can contribute to a subtle loss of physical stamina, a decrease in assertiveness, and a softening of muscle tone, sometimes mistaken for general aging. For men, a more significant drop in testosterone can lead to diminished libido, erectile dysfunction, fatigue, and even a decline in mood and mental sharpness. Understanding that these androgens are not exclusively sex-specific hormones but integral to overall vitality and energy metabolism offers a crucial new perspective on why energy levels might dip and physical resilience can wane, even in the absence of overt illness. The body's capacity for energy production and utilization is deeply intertwined with these hormonal signals, and their subtle shifts can manifest as a pervasive feeling of reduced vigor and drive. Furthermore, the intricate dance between insulin and blood sugar regulation offers another significant, often overlooked, dimension to hormonal imbalances affecting energy and weight. Insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas, is responsible for facilitating the uptake of glucose from the bloodstream into cells for energy. When individuals consistently consume diets high in refined carbohydrates and sugars, the pancreas may overproduce insulin to manage the rapid influx of glucose. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, a condition where cells become less responsive to insulin's signal. Consequently, glucose remains in the bloodstream, leading to elevated blood sugar levels and signaling the body to store excess energy as fat, particularly visceral fat around the abdominal organs. This cycle not only contributes to weight gain but also perpetuates a state of energy dysregulation. While there might be abundant glucose in the blood, cells struggle to access it effectively, leading to energy crashes and cravings for more sugar to bypass the resistance. This metabolic inflexibility profoundly impacts energy levels, mood, and overall body composition, often going unrecognized as a hormonal issue. Consider also the often underestimated impact of growth hormone, GH, and its decline with age on cellular repair, metabolism, and body composition. Growth hormone, produced by the pituitary gland, is crucial for cell regeneration, muscle growth, and fat metabolism throughout life. While its most noticeable effects are during childhood and adolescence, it continues to play a vital role in maintaining tissue health and metabolic efficiency in adulthood. As GH levels naturally decrease with age, individuals may experience a slower rate of cellular repair, making recovery from exercise or injury more prolonged. This decline can also contribute to a decrease in lean muscle mass and an increase in body fat, particularly in the abdominal region, even with consistent exercise. Furthermore, reduced GH levels have been linked to a decrease in bone mineral density and can impact cognitive functions like memory and focus. The subtle but cumulative effects of declining GH on cellular turnover and metabolic regulation contribute significantly to the age-related changes in energy, physical appearance, and overall bodily resilience that many people experience, often attributing them solely to the passage of time rather than a hormonal shift. Another critical area of hormonal influence that warrants attention is the regulation of appetite and satiety by hormones like ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin, often called the hunger hormone, is produced in the stomach and signals the brain to stimulate appetite, while leptin, produced by fat cells, signals the brain to suppress appetite and increase energy expenditure. When this delicate balance is disrupted, for example, due to chronic sleep deprivation, high stress levels, or diets rich in processed foods, the signaling pathways can become impaired. Leptin resistance, where the brain fails to recognize leptin's satiety signals, is particularly common and can lead to persistent feelings of hunger and overeating, even after consuming adequate calories. This makes weight management incredibly challenging, as the body's natural cues for fullness are overridden. Similarly, elevated ghrelin levels can increase cravings, particularly for high-calorie, palatable foods, creating a vicious cycle of hunger and overconsumption that directly impacts energy levels and contributes to weight gain, further disrupting overall hormonal equilibrium. The interaction between sex hormones and metabolic processes extends to their influence on nutrient partitioning and energy storage. For instance, adequate levels of testosterone in both men and women are important for maintaining lean muscle mass, which is metabolically active and contributes to a higher resting metabolic rate. Conversely, lower testosterone levels can lead to a shift towards increased fat storage and a decrease in muscle mass, effectively slowing down metabolism. Similarly, estrogen influences how the body utilizes and stores fat. While healthy estrogen levels are associated with a more favorable fat distribution, imbalances, particularly estrogen dominance, can lead to increased fat deposition in areas like the hips and thighs. Understanding these hormonal influences on metabolism is vital because it highlights how seemingly unrelated factors, such as sleep quality or dietary choices, can indirectly impact these sex hormones, thereby affecting energy expenditure and body composition. It underscores that managing weight and energy is not solely about caloric intake but also about supporting the hormonal milieu that dictates how the body processes fuel. Finally, it is crucial to acknowledge the role of nutrient deficiencies and their profound impact on hormone production and signaling. Hormones are complex molecules, and their synthesis and function rely on a steady supply of essential vitamins and minerals. For example, iodine is critical for thyroid hormone production, zinc is essential for testosterone synthesis, and magnesium plays a role in regulating cortisol and insulin sensitivity. When these micronutrients are lacking in the diet, the body's ability to produce and effectively utilize hormones can be compromised, even if the endocrine glands themselves are functioning optimally. This can lead to a cascade of symptoms that mimic true hormonal imbalances, such as fatigue, mood disturbances, and impaired cognitive function. Recognizing that suboptimal hormone levels might sometimes stem from a lack of the necessary building blocks, rather than a primary gland dysfunction, offers a vital and often overlooked perspective on achieving hormonal balance and optimizing overall vitality. The pervasive influence of hormonal fluctuations extends profoundly into the realm of cognitive function and emotional regulation, often manifesting in ways that subtly undermine daily productivity and interpersonal relationships. Consider the impact of neurotransmitter imbalances, which are frequently intertwined with hormonal shifts. For example, a decrease in estrogen can lead to fluctuations in serotonin and dopamine, neurotransmitters critical for mood stability, motivation, and focus. This can translate into increased irritability, a reduced ability to experience pleasure, anhedonia, and a noticeable decline in concentration, making complex tasks feel overwhelming. Similarly, disruptions in cortisol patterns, particularly chronic elevation due to stress, can impair the prefrontal cortex's ability to manage executive functions like planning, decision-making, and working memory. This cognitive fog isn't just a vague feeling, it represents a tangible impairment in brain function, affecting everything from remembering appointments to engaging in nuanced conversations, often leaving individuals feeling less sharp and capable than they once did, a deeply frustrating experience when the underlying cause remains elusive. Building on this, the interplay between hormonal cycles and sleep architecture presents another significant area of impact on daily well-being. Disruptions in the natural circadian rhythm, often exacerbated by hormonal imbalances, can lead to fragmented sleep, difficulty initiating sleep, or waking prematurely. For instance, declining progesterone levels, which possess a natural sedative effect, can contribute to insomnia and a feeling of non-restorative sleep. This chronic sleep deprivation, in turn, amplifies hormonal dysregulation, creating a feedback loop where insufficient sleep can elevate cortisol, disrupt insulin sensitivity, and further imbalance sex hormones. Imagine facing a demanding workday after a night of restless sleep. Your cognitive capacity is diminished, your emotional resilience is depleted, and your physical energy is at a nadir, all amplified by the hormonal discordance that sleep deprivation perpetuates, illustrating how intertwined these biological systems truly are. Furthermore, the subtle shifts in hormones can significantly influence an individual's metabolic rate and energy expenditure, often leading to unexpected changes in body composition and weight management challenges. As thyroid function, for example, begins to wane, the body's metabolic furnace burns fuel more slowly, meaning fewer calories are expended at rest. This slowdown, coupled with potential changes in appetite-regulating hormones like ghrelin and leptin, can result in a gradual accumulation of body fat, particularly around the abdomen, even if dietary habits and exercise routines remain unchanged. The frustration of seeing the scale creep upwards despite diligent efforts is a common experience, highlighting how integral hormonal balance is to maintaining a healthy metabolism and preventing unwanted weight gain, a testament to the body's intricate regulatory systems. Conversely, consider how imbalances in androgens, such as testosterone, can affect muscle protein synthesis and the body's capacity for physical exertion. Lower androgen levels can lead to a decrease in lean muscle mass, which not only reduces overall strength and stamina but also impacts metabolic health, as muscle tissue is more metabolically active than fat tissue. This can create a compounding effect. Less muscle mass means a slower metabolism, which can contribute to further weight gain and a general reduction in physical energy and vigor. Consequently, activities that once felt effortless may now require more effort, contributing to a pervasive sense of fatigue and diminished physical capacity that can affect both daily life and the enjoyment of recreational pursuits, underscoring the far-reaching implications of these hormonal shifts. Another critical facet to explore is the impact of hormonal dysregulation on immune system function and inflammatory responses. Chronic stress, leading to elevated cortisol, can suppress immune activity, making individuals more susceptible to infections and slowing down the healing process. Moreover, imbalances in sex hormones can influence inflammatory pathways. For example, conditions like estrogen dominance are sometimes associated with increased systemic inflammation, which can manifest as joint pain, digestive issues, or skin conditions. This heightened inflammatory state can drain energy reserves and contribute to a general feeling of malaise, illustrating how hormonal health is intrinsically linked to the body's ability to defend itself and maintain cellular integrity, impacting overall vitality and well-being in profound ways. Finally, the influence of hormonal imbalances on libido and sexual health is a significant, though often unspoken, aspect of overall well-being. Declining levels of sex hormones, such as estrogen and testosterone, can lead to decreased sexual desire, vaginal dryness, and discomfort during intercourse in women, and reduced libido and erectile difficulties in men. These changes can impact intimate relationships and contribute to feelings of diminished self-esteem and vitality. Understanding that these shifts are often rooted in physiological hormonal changes, rather than a lack of attraction or a relationship issue, is crucial for addressing them effectively and maintaining a fulfilling sexual health, which is an integral component of overall life satisfaction and hormonal harmony. Reflecting on this journey so far, we've navigated the intricate pathways of our internal biochemical landscape, uncovering how subtle shifts in our body's master regulators can ripple outwards, affecting everything from our energy reserves to our mental clarity and emotional equilibrium. It's akin to observing how a single misplaced stone can alter the course of a flowing river, creating unexpected eddies and currents that change the very texture of the water's movement. The cumulative effect of these hormonal whispers, once a source of confusion and perhaps even frustration, begins to resolve into a more coherent picture, revealing the interconnectedness of systems we often consider separate. The body, it appears, communicates in a language far more nuanced than simple overt signals, and understanding this dialect is key to deciphering its messages. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider how the diverse threads we've explored, the metabolic underpinnings, the cognitive and emotional reverberations, the subtle yet significant impacts on physical vitality, converge to form a more holistic understanding of our personal well-being. The insights gained illuminate not just the what of these internal dynamics, but also the why behind many of the pervasive feelings that can accompany the passage of time. It's a conceptual recalibration, shifting our perspective from isolated symptoms to a broader, systemic view, much like realizing that a single discordant note in a complex symphony points to a larger orchestral imbalance rather than an isolated flaw. This deeper comprehension sets the stage for a more empowered approach to navigating our health. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer, illuminated by a more profound understanding of the body's inherent wisdom and its delicate hormonal architecture. The knowledge we've gathered serves as a foundational blueprint, enabling us to approach our health with a renewed sense of agency and informed curiosity. It's about recognizing the symphony within, not as a source of confusion, but as a complex, beautiful composition that, with the right understanding, can be harmonized. This transition from bewilderment to clarity is the crucial bridge, preparing us to embrace the actionable steps that lie ahead, fostering a deeper connection with our own physiology and a commitment to thriving. The true practice begins now, not with a singular solution, but with a profound recalibration of how we perceive our own bodies. We've journeyed through the intricate landscape of hormonal whispers, transforming the often confusing chorus of symptoms into a discernible language of physiological communication. What might have once felt like inexplicable fatigue, a sudden shift in mood, or a stubborn resistance to our usual wellness efforts, now reveals itself as a sophisticated internal dialogue. This is not about succumbing to the narrative of aging as an inevitable decline, but about understanding the nuanced biological symphony that plays within us, a symphony that, with awareness and informed intention, can be conducted towards greater harmony and vitality. This exploration has underscored that our bodies are not static entities, but dynamic ecosystems constantly responding to internal and external cues, with hormones acting as the master conductors. The subtle shifts we've discussed, from the delicate balance of estrogen and progesterone to the regulatory power of thyroid and cortisol, and even the foundational roles of androgens and metabolic hormones, are not isolated events. They are interconnected threads in the tapestry of our health, each influencing the other in a continuous feedback loop. Recognizing this interconnectedness is the first step towards reclaiming a sense of agency, moving from passive observers of our body's changes to active participants in its ongoing well-being. It's about empowering ourselves with the knowledge that these internal dialogues, once perceived as disquieting noise, can be understood, interpreted, and ultimately harmonized. The true power lies not in simply identifying potential imbalances, but in fostering a lifelong practice of listening to our bodies with curiosity and compassion. This means embracing a holistic approach, acknowledging that sleep, nutrition, stress management, and mindful movement are not just lifestyle choices, but essential components of hormonal regulation. It's about cultivating an intuitive connection, learning to read the subtle signals before they escalate into overt distress. The journey we've embarked upon is not about finding a single fix, but about developing a sustainable relationship with our own physiology, one built on understanding, respect, and informed action. The insights gained serve as a powerful catalyst, encouraging us to engage with our health not as a problem to be solved, but as an ongoing, evolving dialogue to be nurtured. The wisdom of our bodies is always present, it simply awaits our attentive ear.